You new insight into the corporate welfare industry, such as bailouts, and they connect with student loans. The show will highlight on your constitutional rights and how the current system is built to infringe upon them. Join the conversation by visiting our website chat room at wearethepeople.tv or call the show at 888-565-1470 and let us hear from you. And now, let's tune in to Tracy and Jorge for this week's discussion.
Good evening, and it's Tracy Marks. I'm actually back. I think I've been gone for about a month, and it's Jorge's turn to go away for a little while, and we have Rick back as our co-host, who many of you may know from WRPBI TV when we started over there. So, Rick, what's been going on? You've had a lot going on. You've been holding the show for me.
We've had lots of stuff going on, but I want to talk some about what you've been doing as well, and about some different activities that are going on that we need to get interest from members of the public to our congressmen and senators. All right? But the first thing I want to talk about is the truth about student loans. You've got a show, you've got a program, a panel discussion at FAU, Florida Atlantic University, on March 13th at 3 p.m.
Yes, we do. So it's from 3 p.m. to 4:30. It's in the Office Depot building at room 120. It's going to go till about 4:30, and then we're going to have some refreshments, and we'll answer more questions after the panel discussion for about an hour. So we've only have about 80 to 100 seats. We're still not clear on that issue yet. You know how that goes. I don't know if you remember, but I had been trying to book this since it was originally booked back in January, and of course there was a mix-up with the rooms, so we've had to postpone it. So again, speaking of student loans, the gal that's running it with me, Alexandra, you will remember her. She was a guest on the show. She was an FAU student loan advocate and assistant professor. So her, along with the sociology department over at FAU, we're co-sponsoring this event. So we definitely appreciate you coming out. We're going to have our guest. Of course, Rick's going to be there. He's a professor, so he has perspective from a couple of different types of institutions. So he has a lot of insight, and, you know, he has his own student loan issues, as you know. Shimeon is going to be back. He carried a show for me one week. So he's going to be back, and he's going to be talking about consolidation. We have Soumya Munjal, who's flying in from New York with CPA for the People and Youthful Savings, and she's going to talk about finances. And then we also have an attorney, Jeffrey Van Treese, who has a show sometime. I don't remember what his show. He's going to kill me. But anyway, he's going to be there also giving us, some legal advice and talking about his experiences with student loans as well.
So it should be an interesting panel and an interesting time for all, and we'll see how that goes. In addition, you're involved with the Renaissance Festival at Quiet Waters Park, and we've got about 3 more weeks left of that. So if you folks happen to be in South Florida or come to South Florida for our wonderful weather, less snow than up in north, come out to the Deerfield Beach, to the Quiet Waters Park, to the Renaissance Festival. Taylor's going to be there with her specialty soaps. Hallie Elise is going to be there, and of course, Tracy.
Yes, Hallie Elise has the show right before mine. I know some of you may be joining us from her show. So we've been having a lot of fun out there. I just love all the costumes and everything. But Taylor, as you may or may not remember, she was also one of our student loan stories. We had great success with her as far as... we got her into another show, raised enough money by talking to everybody on the radio. You all generously purchased. People donated money for a hotel room so she was able to do shows, to get her ingredients, to get back online. And her best ROI for the year was definitely the Renfest show, and we had somebody that donated the money early. She'll be paying that back, of course, but she saved $500 in that way. So we're going to eventually, in the next 3, maybe 4 weeks, we're going to have her in for an update on how her business has changed, what's going on with her student loans. So there's been a lot of great things that have happened to her, but, there's also a lot of not so great things that are still weighing in. And, it's psychological warfare is what it is with these student loans, and something definitely needs to be done. So come out to the Ren Fest and say hi to us. And if you can, we would love to see you at FAU as well. I'm hoping Taylor might join us with that as well.
This is an important week. The Federal Communications Commission on the 26th is going to be taking up the issue of whether or not it's going to regulate the internet. And I think it's incredibly important to let our voices be heard. There's several petitions out there. One of them is on protectinternetfreedom.com, protectinternetfreedom.com. Very important that
And
you let
also,
your voice be heard.
remember, if you miss something and you're listening on the radio, you can go to wearethepeople.tv for a replay for any of the information, because we don't always necessarily get it all up there and written, so you might have to give us a little listen again. And I believe you can fast forward and stuff with that too. Wearethepeople.tv also archives our old shows if you are interested in learning a little bit more about student loans. We've covered several things. The show's getting ready. I've been gone, like I said, for about a month and a half. A lot of things have been happening. We've been here, about 9-10 months now? And we had our show before for a few months at WRPBI TV. The thing is we've been around long enough where people are finally starting to take a look and take notice, which is really exciting. So I've been out there talking with people and networking with people. We had such great success with helping Taylor turn her business around. She's still got a long way to go on several things that need to be done, but I wanted to kind of use that as a model. And we are looking into nonprofit status. Nonprofit status has already been applied for. We're going to incorporate We Are the People. And if plans go the way we hope, we'll also apply for 527 status. Very hard decisions. I haven't had a job since 2009. I've been, I was really great with paying my loans, when I could. And even all things considered, I've paid $35,000 back of a $40,000 loan, and they want over $49,000 today. I don't mind, I realize profit is what we pay our bills with, but at the same time, what they're doing here with the educational system and the medical is just outrageous.
It is outrageous. I mean, they're basically using us as cattle, and they're milking us, and continually keeping the ball moving out of our reach, just out of our reach.
Yeah, but the thing is, we have to find solutions. Everybody bitches, but what good is that going to do? So what I'm hoping is between, the different attorneys that I'm hoping to put together for this, that we can come up with some interesting new ways to assault them.
Well, for starters, we seem to be willing to bail out the corporations. They get bailed out.
Oh, yes, BP, did you hear?
Yes, British Petroleum.
Pray tell.
We're paying for their oil spill, cleanup. How's that, you ask? Well, they get tax write-offs for 80% of the cleanup costs and penalties. That they paid.
Penalties.
All right?
They're getting it back.
That's saving them tens of billions of dollars. Well, who's paying for that?
About $14 billion.
That's coming out of whose pockets? That's coming out of the pockets of the American people, the American taxpayer, because we have to make up that difference. That's coming out of our children's pockets, because that goes into the close to $18 trillion in debt that we have run up on our tab, especially our tab with the Bank of China. All right. Now, all right, we bailed out the banking industry. Are they helping us? Are they helping us that they bail out
Well, they
everybody
haven't helped my
with their
interest
homes?
rate at all.
They haven't helped any interest rates. Okay, we bailed out all kinds of industries, corporations. Here we have an opportunity to help the student loan debtor, right? And causes studentloanjustice.org has a petition up asking members of Congress to co-sponsor H.R. 449. H.R. 449, right? That's the Discharge Student Debt Through Bankruptcy Act, and asking you to talk to your senators as well and get them to propose the same legislation in the Senate so that we can go back to being regular citizens, first-class citizens, not second-class citizens or worse. You know, over a decade ago, our status was changed after we had loans, after we had made agreements, to the point that we could not discharge our student loan debt in bankruptcy when it became impossible to pay. I don't know about you, but my debt, I was sold on taking out student loans because I was sold on the fact that I would have jobs and job offers that paid very well.
But not only that, when you and I took out loans, you took out many much before I did. But when I took out my loan, there was still some bankruptcy protection. Okay, now bankruptcy is not anything that anybody wants to do. And if anything, it's more a business thing that creates the problem. I actually, many years ago after my divorce, I decided I was going to go in and take a look at bankruptcy. I was so disgusted with the slimy attorney when I came out that I couldn't do it, you know, because he sat there and he told me with glee in his eyes about how, yeah, he had his business customers that came in every 6 years. And I thought it was every 7. He goes, yeah, but you got to get the paperwork going. You know, it's part of their business model. And this is what has created so many barriers, you know, to individuals. It's not really the individuals that are that are costing all the money. You know, we talk about corporate welfare. BP, what is that? $14 billion they're getting back that they were supposed to have to pay. Why the hell are they getting that back, number one? And number two, that's a lot of money. Our country is, what is it, over $16 trillion in debt right now?
That's correct. We're heading towards 18.
The whole idea of corporations is they were supposed to foot the bigger part of the bill. They're the one that benefits. They're the one that has the buying power. You know, they even tax breaks. When you buy in bulk, okay, your tax is obviously going to be less because you're spending less money because you're buying in bulk at a cheaper price. You know, so I go into a bank, I have to pay $4.50 for a money order. The guy with the big accounts gets it for free. You know, and I understand that. Okay, you deserve to be compensated when you're supplying many jobs to America. Okay, but the thing is, all our jobs are going overseas now. Okay. Germany's offering free education. Many countries are offering free education. They're offering free medical. There is no reason why our country can't have those things. You know, there's billions and billions of dollars in our government that just disappears, whether it has to do with war or whether it has to do with buying toilet paper and toilet seats. It's unaccounted for all over the place. You know, and then you add in, if you go to opensecrets.org, you can see where these politicians are being paid off by the educational systems and the banking systems. It's not right. You know, it's just not right. You're crushing people. Now, I am on Section 8. Okay, as long as I've been on it, it's cost less than $200,000. Okay, that's over a 10-year period of time. Okay, this is not where I want to be. I've paid off several loans. Okay, I've paid off many car loans. I've paid off one of my student loans when my father died, and I took every penny to put it towards my principal. And what it has done is backfired on me, and now I owe quadruple what I did before. Okay, student loans need to be taken care of. There are plenty of people that are not in trouble with student loans. But that doesn't mean that one bad episode won't change all that. And people that are in the low 3-figure income, they've found that out these last few years. I've worked with several people since 2009 that were making, you know, 100 plus, 150 plus a year and are working for $10, $12, and $15 an hour now. Okay, because the jobs are gone. They're just not here anymore.
Well, you know, some people are touting that it's a good idea to go into default on your student loans. If you don't need to go into default, don't default on your loans.
Well, if you're working, it's not a good idea because they're going to garnish your check, you know. If you're not working and you do that, that's a different story. I mean, sometimes you just have to let some things go.
You can read about that in the comments on forgivestudentloandebt.com.
And definitely do that because there's a lot of subtleties to that thing. And also check out Strike Debt. StrikeDebt.org. I like them. I'm hoping that once we get this nonprofit up and going, that we'll be able to do something with them.
But in the meantime, go to Petition to Congress, petition to the number 2 Congress.com, and ask for co-sponsors on the discharge student debt through bankruptcy bill. That's co-sponsors for HR 449. That's a good thing to do. Please do it.
Yeah, and people, it's pretty much just me right now, okay? And we have Rick is here as a co-host again, and Jorge, but as far as marketing and all that kind of stuff, we don't have it. I don't even have internet right now, okay? So I can't do any of that type of thing. So anything that you see, we have a Facebook page, The Truth About Student Loans. There's an event posted on Facebook, and then We Are the People, Students for Liberty also has a page on Facebook. We try to post information there. A lot of times I don't get it there, but these are things that we plan on working out. And truly, if you know someone that could help, that wants to help, or that needs help, I'd appreciate it, because I would really like to see the community come together. Right now, we're going to have to do the 527 for the legislative end. Okay, that's never going to be what you want or what it looks like. We have to compromise with too many people, but I lost my train.
That's okay.
It just went off
your
track.
Just
pass it on is all I'm asking you.
And we need, we offer a lot of information regarding petitions, regarding activities to contact your congressmen and your senators, to contact agencies, whatever it happens to be. We do that because our voices are small. One or two of us, we happen to have a radio microphone and a television camera. That's nice. That helps out. That helps to multiply things. But we need your voices to be added to these petitions to get noticed by members of Congress, to get changes. The corporations have lots of money, and they spend it liberally on these congressmen and senators. Congress has changed. They flipped the equation. They were supposed to be serving the people. Servants of the people.
Well, lobbying needs to go, but I'm still going to have to do it until I get there. We have to there's certain core foundational things that we want to put together to try to start chipping away at this.
We have to engage in the process. There are a lot of things that have happened, and we need to reverse a lot of those things to make changes so that we have liberty, so that the people have liberty. That was the intent of this country, is that the people have liberty to choose their own lives and not be forced to do things by government. And our government is now on steroids and getting bigger and forcing us into boxes, forcing us to do more and more things. And that's very difficult.
Well, I want to come on, I want to start talking more about the inside of these government agencies, because I have been there. Think about it. How many people do you know on Section 8? Okay, our demographic here, we have two demographics. We've got the student loan demographic, which I haven't even really built because I haven't been on Facebook, but that shouldn't be too hard to deal with. But our other demographic is our radio demographic. So you've got your age group of 25 to 55, about 125 grand. You people, probably do have student loans. A lot of you are doing very well, okay? And there's a little B-type movie that's on YouTube called The Red. And it's about two roommates and how one is totally overwhelmed and her parents are telling her to, pull herself up on her bootstraps. And the other one, she got a good job. She's doing well. It can go either way, but that can change in a heartbeat. Bankruptcy protections were set up to protect you when you went down, okay? There's no reason why a gambler should be able to claim bankruptcy and a student can't.
This is to give us a fresh start.
And please, people don't want to do this. It's a miserable, degrading thing. Unless, of course, it's a business bankruptcy. Then it's business as usual. And let's, come on in 6 years later and we'll start a new business under a new name with all the same people.
So why should businesses have more rights than people, than real people, than live people?
And when you're inside these government, I understand people's fear of big government. There should be a fear of big government. But the thing is, the world is growing. There's over 3 million people in the United States. Okay, 3 million people.
300 million.
300 million. Yeah, I said 3 million, didn't I? 300 million. Well, come to say next time we have a bank bailout, because we will have to have it after what they did with the budget, we could give each person in America $1 million. Not only will that bail out the banks, it'll bail out us too. We can take the bills right off the top. You open up bank accounts. I don't see why that wouldn't work.
$300 billion. Not
It's
bad.
a lot cheaper than the $700 billion the last bailout
It's much
cost.
cheaper.
$700 billion that last bailout.
And I bet you'd be a whole lot more effective too.
Well, we need to go back to the KISS system anyway. It's totally too complicated the way they do things.
This is
And one
true.
of the first things I think we need to really focus on is the fact that these little riders they throw on the end of these bills that have nothing to do with what you're trying to get through. And it's just a ploy. So, what do you say about that?
I say we need to trim the size of government.
Yes, but you can't trim the size of government. And then, okay, here's what's happened. My son lost his medical, okay? We went from 30,000 people on the books in the state of Florida for financial help to 300,000. And what have they done? They've cut the people that work, just like in the corporation. The CEOs are making huge, huge bonuses, and the people down here that do all the work are doing the work of 3 and 4 people. My caseworker used to be a manager. Okay, they're doing the same thing to them that they're doing in the corporations. You need more people in there answering the phones. That's exactly why my son lost his medical.
But the big salary people don't like that. They want to get their bonuses. They want to continue their big salaries. They don't want to do the work.
Well, the bonuses is totally.
So we're
well, they're getting
over-administered.
bonuses for doing a bad job, and then they get hired at other companies to do the same thing because they're a thief. They know how to make it look good. And why are they getting gigantic bonuses when the company is losing huge money? Why is CEC? I don't even know how they're still in existence. If you've ever watched, I've been watching their stocks since 2003. It's totally ridiculous. I don't know anything about it, and it's just blatantly obvious that there's something going on there.
Well, but they have wiggle room. They can do different things. They can get rid of expenses, get rid of debts in bankruptcy. That's something that some of the people, student loan debtors, cannot do. You can't get a fresh start, whereas some of these businesses can get fresh starts, or they can go find legislators to create laws for them to allow them to compete where otherwise they couldn't compete. So it's a problem with lobbying and with all this money that's in government.
So the thing is, people aren't convinced by what they hear. They're convinced by what they understand. What I hope to do is help people to understand what is going on. People can't pull themselves up on bootstraps when they don't have any. These are my neighbors. They're spending hours on the bus or hours carpooling. They're dead tired. They're cooking meals from scratch, most of the time because they can't afford to go out and eat. And if they do go out and eat, it's the dollar menu at McDonald's, which is, that's like we're destroying our brain with the stuff that we're putting in our bodies. And think about it. With the brain is what makes you hallucinate. We've got all this stuff in our food. Our health is going downhill. Our country is sliding.
And that's a whole set of issues in and of itself, with corporations in control of what is posted on your list of ingredients and what impact they have, and telling us what is good for us and what is not good for us, and telling us that things that are really not good for us are good for us, like high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah. Yay, high fructose.
But we're creating diabetes, we're creating other
And
illnesses.
the children are what are showing you that, there's these problems. And then they cut PE out of the elementary schools. That's when they need it the most. Our school systems are, because that's all being privatized. Now, I actually have my son finally in a charter school, and it's the best one so far that he's ever been in, and they are actually doing a wonderful job with him. That's Coral Springs Charter School. But all in all, I'm not overly thrilled with that whole privatized idea, but yet I want my son to get the best education, so I'm looking for answers. What I want to end on is with an attitude of gratefulness, though, because I have been given a brand new computer. I have to get internet still. I keep messing it up because I can't get it updated on time. I'm extremely grateful to AmpSquare.tv, Freddie and Linda, because, they put together a huge promotional package for Taylor, without even being asked. So many people stepped forward, and I'm just truly grateful for that because it gave me an idea of what direction I wanted to go in, because it felt so good, to see somebody's business turn around. If we could get business owners together, people that can donate some time somehow to help people put their businesses on the right track, because there are no jobs to come out to. You either have to start a foundation, a nonprofit, or whatever your business of choice is, and that is very hard to do because there's no money, and the Small Business Administration has pretty much been gutted as far as power and money.
Well, we forced the money out of the country with these free trade agreements, these so-called free trade agreements.
And we got to go, folks. So we have done that. Please take a look into these things. I mean, we have to do it ourselves. I mean, I can sit here and talk to you all day, but if you don't really look into it for yourself, all these are words, and the country needs you. Your kids need you, your parents, your children, everybody. I mean, we're all in this together, whether we want to be or not. We don't have to like each other to come together and fix this. We just have to agree to disagree in certain areas and sign those foundational petitions together. See you next week. Thank you for joining us.
Take a walk on the wild
You have been
side.
listening to We Are the People with social advocates Tracy Marks and Jorge Estamba, who every week bring to the light the needs and changes in our current system. Tune in every Monday night at 7 p.m. on wearethepeople.tv and participate in the conversation in the chat room or call 888-565-1470. Tune in next Monday for more information and facts. And Tracy and Jorge remind you to stay aware of your surroundings and challenges at all times.